We're joined now by Fox 56 political analyst Jonathan Miller. Jonathan, normally voters don't make their decisions based on the number 2 person on the ticket. Do you think J.D. Vance brings anything to the ticket that will either help or hurt Donald Trump?
You know, I think Trump picks someone in his own image. J.D. Vance is a fighter. He has a similar ideological outlook, and he has demonstrated himself to be extremely loyal to the president over the last couple of years, since before he was a never-Trumper. But I think he in Trump has picked somebody that not necessarily helps win the election, but is a vice president that would carry on his legacy.
You know, this presidential race has a very different feel in the aftermath of that assassination attempt. Both sides have said they want to dial back on the personal attacks. You know, given that there is a lot of time left between now and November, do you think that gentler tone is actually going to last?
You know, as someone who's pushed for bipartisanship and civility in my entire political career, I wish the answer was yes, but I have a feeling this has a short shelf life. You know, in picking J.D. Vance, he's picked someone who's a fighter. He picked someone who went on Twitter a couple minutes after the assassination attempt and attacked Democrats. I don't really see this lasting too long, and that's unfortunate.
We hear that Kamala Harris has already said she will debate J.D. Vance. What would the debate between the two of them look like?
I think it'd be great. I think we got two bright, younger politicians who are fighters and who are loyal to their bosses, and I think it will be a good predictor of the future of both parties.
You know, before the assassination attempt, a lot of people were talking about potentially the replacement of President Joe Biden at the top of the ticket on the Democratic side. It seems like, you know, that has died down. Do you think that's still a possibility? Do you see that happening at the DNC, or do you think that may not happen anymore? You
know, I know a number of us hold out hope that that it will be a Harris-Bashir ticket, or maybe a Bashir-Harris ticket, but I think that in all likelihood the president will stay. Nothing's going to happen over the next several days at least, and the longer it takes, the harder it is to replace the president. So my guess it will be a Biden-Trump showdown.
Yeah. Both parties have called for unity, to get behind our person. But today when Mitch McConnell got up and made the announcement of the Kentucky vote, he was booed by a lot of Republicans. So that's not unity within the party. What do you make of that?
Well, I got to give Senator McConnell a lot of credit. He's always operated under doing what he thought was right for the party, right for his ideological bent, and not caring about his popularity, whether it's in the general public or among Republicans. So I think he wears that as a bit of a badge of honor, and knowing that he felt like he's been doing the right thing.
Any other predictions leading up to November?
Well, I think that Trump has the big advantage right now, but you know, it's still, remember, it's still very early. It's going to, by election day, this assassination attempt will seem like ancient history, so a lot can happen between now and then.
Did his advantage get a little greater because he did seem so strong in the face of what happened the other day?
I don't think it won over any independent voters, but I think it really firmed his base a lot. I think it will help make it even easier for them to come out in the polls with excitement.
Yeah. Certainly been an emotional campaign season. It's going to continue to be so. We will have you in many more times to talk about it between now and November.
Always enjoy it.
Thank you, Jonathan Miller.